Good morning everyone. Today we will go for the anatomy of a lung. Lungs, these are the one of the main respiratory system organ, one of the respiratory system organ, okay, that conduct the gas exchange in this, okay, in this organ, okay, oxygenated blood to non-oxygenated blood. Gas exchange occur in the lungs. This is a one of the major organ of a respiratory tract, and this is lungs are situated in the chest, or you can say as a thorax, okay. Another name for the lungs is pulmonary, you can say as a pulmonary, okay. You can go for the, these are two in number, okay, these are two in number, one is at the right side and another one is the left side, okay. The right lung is situated little bit just above the left lung, because there is below it is a what liver is there. Because of that, what happened, because of pressure or big organ, okay, because of that right lung is slightly more or above, okay, than the left lung, okay. And in the respiratory system, the mainly respiration, okay, can in physiology we can come to know what is the negative pressure, what is the positive pressure, how the pressure is created, how the volume is become increase. These are main functions or main structures help to for develop a negative pressure or positive pressure because of a diaphragm. Another one is the lungs, okay. Because of that, it was negative pressure, positive pressure is formed in the respiratory during the respiration, okay. The diaphragm, it is have the major role in the respiration, okay, to help the respiration. And another one is the major role is it divides the diaphragm, it divides the abdomen and thorax, okay. It first one is the, it creates the pressure or negative pressure, positive pressure, all pressures is created by the diaphragm. One of the structure that is diaphragm. Another one is the main function of the diaphragm is it divides the thorax and the chest, thorax and the abdomen, okay. You can go for the next slide. In human anatomy and physiology, there are two functional respiratory system. You cannot have two respiratory system. In respiratory system start from the nose and ends at the alveoli, okay. And in that there are two zones are there, or two parts are there in the respiration. And last class of a during the anatomy of a trachea, I already told what is the conducting zone and what is the respiratory zone. Respiratory zones mean it is a site there where actually gas exchange was occur, okay. And conducting zones means it only conduct, or it only forms the passage, or it only conducts the air was transformed from one place to another place, or it is just a one road, okay, that conveys the air from one place to other place, okay. That is say the conducting zone. And where is actually the gas exchange was occur, that site is say as a respiratory zone. We whole respiratory system functionally we divide as a two parts. One is a conducting zone, another one is a respiratory zone, okay. In conducting zone, the right conducts, rigid conducts for air to reach the site of gas exchange, that is say as a conduction zone. And what are the structures or roles as a conducting zone? Nose, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea and bronchi or bronchioles. And respiratory zones means actually where the actually gas exchange was occur, or respiratory of occur. That is said as a respirator. Now, what are the structures? Bronchioles, alveolar duct, alveolar sacs, and alveoli. Okay, these are the structures are help. Can you just see conducting zone, and this is the respiratory zone. In respiratory zone, alveoli, bronchioles, okay, or respiratory bronchioles, or we can say as a acinus. Is whole acinus. It is a functional zone of a what? Functional zone of a respiratory zone. Oh, okay. Region of respiratory zones. It is a region of gas exchange between the air and blood vessels. It includes the respiratory bronchioles, alveolar sac, and alveoli. Okay. This is about the conducting zone. In conducting zone, what are the structures are involved? One is the nose, nasal pharynx, larynx, trachea, and bronchi. Okay, and bronchioles. And respiratory bronchioles or acinus, in short acinus. The whole acinus, respiratory bronchioles, alveolar sac, alveolar duct, and alveoli are terminal bronchioles. All are included under respiratory zone. Okay, now we can go for the anatomy of a lungs. Okay, lungs are present in the chest region or thorax region. These are 2 in number. The 2 lungs are organ of respiration and lies on either side of the mediastinum. Okay, mediastinum, it is nothing but as a gap between the 2 lungs, or it is a mediastinum, it is a space, okay, in gap, okay, that allows to pass the blood vessels, okay, allowed to pass the some esophagus or tubular structures. Okay, it is a passage that allows mainly the blood supply, heart, okay, or blood carries the blood supply or passes the some major structures that are the mainly the blood supply of blood vessels and esophagus, and it also contains the heart. Okay, and then the mediastinum surrounded by the right and left pleural cavity, and it has the right and left lungs. We can say this is a mediastinum. This is the left lung, this is the right lung. In between the 2 lungs there is a gap, is there, that gap is as a mediastinum. Okay, and it is present just below the sternum. Lungs, their right lung is normally little larger than the left lung, because the middle mediastinum containing a heart. Okay, heart bulges more to the left than to the right. The right lung is more large because it don't have the what can say there is some impression, it's less impression as compared to the left lung. Okay, because there is heart is situated more towards the left lung or little bit left side. Okay, because of that what happened, right lung is more larger than the left lung, and it has the 3 lobes and it has only 2 lobes. Okay, lungs. The lungs is a soft and spongy organ, and it is very elastic. Okay, so if the pleural cavity is opened, it shrinks to 1 out of 3 in volume. Okay, the right lung is larger and broader and shorter than the left lung. Color of the lung is pink in children to dark and mottled in adult. Position, the lung lies on either side of the mediastinum, surrounded by the pleura. Okay, Pleura, it is a, I also take the class on the pleura also. You just know that pleura means it is a covering of a lung. In short, we can. And this pleura, it allow to move the lungs in that. It gives the protection also, and also it helps to movement of a lung. Okay, and it covers the what lungs. Okay. Now lung shape of lung, how it is conical in shape. Okay, lungs are conical in shape. It has the apex and base. It has the two surfaces and three borders. Okay, how it is looking? It is, each lung is a conical in shape. Okay, and it has the apex, base, anterior border, posterior border, and this is the inferior border, like that. And it has the two surfaces. Mediastinal surface means which surface is towards the or looking towards the mediastinum, that is a mediastinal surface. And costal surface means which surface is attaches or it is looking or it is covered by the costals, that surface is a costal surface. Costals means it is a ribs. Okay, ribs you can say as a anterior surface, or you can say as a in short, in costal surface or mediastinal surface. Okay, costal surface, it is outer side surface is there, and mediastinal, it is looking towards the mediastinum. Okay, and costal means it is a ribs are say as a costal surface. Costochondritis, costal cartilage, like that. Okay, lungs shape, it is a conical. You can say it is a, you can see in this is the apex, this is the base. Okay, this is the anterior surface, this is the posterior surface, and this border, and this is the inferior surface. And apex is, it is a directed towards upwards, and both the side apex is present just above the, little bit above the clavicle. Okay, you also heard the respiration at this area. Okay, and apex, it is a blunt, not a sharp, it is a blunt in shape. Okay, shape is conical in that apex of the lung. It is a blunt and it is present in the neck, means just above the clavicle, about 1 inch above the clavicle, and it is covered with the cervical pleura and the suprapleural membrane. Base of the lung, it is lies on the diaphragm. Okay, and it is directed towards the downwards or towards the inferior surface or towards the abdomen. Okay, and it is a concave in shape. Okay, base is concave in shape. It is a base is broad. Okay, as compared to the apex, and it is a broad, and it is concave in shape and rest on the corresponding dome of the diaphragm. Okay, you can share this also. This is the left lung and this is the right lung. Because why it is the right lung? You can see the 3 lobes, 1, 2, 3, and it is left lung because it is 2 only lobes, and this is a cardiac notch. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Each lung has a half cone shape or conical in shape with a base, apex, 2 surfaces and 3 borders. The base is sit on the diaphragm. You can see this is a diaphragm. This is also a muscle. Okay, that differentiates the thorax and the abdomen and helps in the during the respiration. The apex projects above first rib and into the root of the neck. It has the 2 surfaces. One is the costal surface, that is, see, these are the ribs. It has 2 surfaces. One is the costal surface. It lies immediately adjacent to the ribs and intercostal space of the thoracic wall. Okay, you can see here this is a costal surface. Okay, it is covered by the completely covered by the ribs, and in between these ribs there is a space is there. This space is the intracostal space. Okay, and it is costal surface. It is have the relation, or it is completely covered by the, or immediately adjacent to the, lies immediately adjacent to the ribs and intracostal spaces. Okay, this is the space is between the intercostal, means it is present in between the two ribs, and that space is as a intracostal space. And this area or medial sides area is as a mediastinal surface. It lies against the mediastinum anteriorly and the vertebral column posteriorly, and contain the comma-shaped hilum of the lung, through which structures are entered and leave. Okay. Now you can see this is a costal surface. Okay. Now we can go for the anatomy of costal surface. Okay. And how it is costal surface? It is a convex in shape. Okay. Costal surface of the lung, it is a convex, and it is faces the costal wall. Costal wall means it contains the ribs, costal cartilages, and intercostal space. Okay. Then mediastinal surface of the lung. And how it is mediastinal surface? It is a concave. Costal surface is convex and mediastinal surface is concave. Why it is concave? It is directed, or it is present against the mediastinum, and from here the some mediastinal surface there is hilum is present. From that some structures will enters and leaves or outs from that. Okay, that is why it is a concave. Okay, it is a concave. It is molded to the mediastinal structures. At its middle it shows a hilum. This is as a hilum of the lung, through which the main bronchus neurovascular bundles passes to the lung, representing the root of the lung. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Now you can go for the borders of the lung. There are three borders of the lung. One is the anterior border. It is a little bit sharp. Okay, and posterior border and inferior border. On the, you can see this is a anterior border, this is a posterior border, and this is a inferior border. Okay, these are the three borders of the lung. The anterior border, it is a thin and it is a vertical on the right side, and show the cardiac notch on the left. In left lung, it shows the cardiac notch. Okay, cardiac notch on the left side and below the fourth costal cartilage. And posterior border, it is a thick and ill defined. Okay, anterior border is thin and it is sharp. Posterior border, it is thick and it is ill defined. Then inferior border, this is a inferior border. It separates base from the costal and mediastinal surface. Okay, this inferior border, it separates this is the costal. This is the costal surface and this is the mediastinal surface, and this is the inferior border. Okay, this inferior border, what main function it is? The base of the costal and mediastinal surface. It separates the base from the costal. This is the costal surface and this is the mediastinal surface. It is make the separation, inferior border. Can say already anterior border of the lung, it is a sharp. It lies in the costo-mediastinal recess of a pleura, Okay. In the left lung, it shows the cardiac notch. Okay, you can see here, this is the left lung. It shows this one. This is the anterior border. This is the right lung. In that anterior border, not shows any notch. But this is the left lung. Here it shows the cardiac notch. Okay, I can see here in this picture. It shows the cardiac notch, and this is here the lingula. Okay. Lingula, it is present at the anterior border, and it is a projection, like projection to the at the anterior border. That projection is say as a lingula, and this is a cardiac notch. It is only present in the left lung, okay, of the anterior border of a left lung, and this is a posterior border. You can see this is a posterior border. Posterior border, it is a blunt and huge. It is also seen as a posterior surface. It is occupies the paravertebral gutter. Okay, and what is the main function of this posterior border? It differentiates the base from the costal surface and the mediastinal surface. Okay, then this is the inferior border. Okay, it is a ill defined, thick. This is a thick and ill defined. Okay, and it is inferior border of the lung. It is sharp, occupies the costodiaphragmic recess during the inspiration. Lungs, there are three borders. Inferior border of the lung is a sharp and separates the base from the costal surface. Anterior and posterior borders separates the costal surface from the medial surface. Unlike the anterior and inferior borders, which are sharp, the posterior border is smooth and rounded or thick. Okay, now we can go for the lobes. The right lung has the 3 lobes and left lung has the only 2 lobes. Okay, and right lung, it has the 2 fissures. Fissures means cut. Okay, cuts. In short, fissures means there are cuts. You can see this is a one oblique fissure and this is a horizontal fissure. But in the left lung, there is only one oblique fissure. In the right lung, there are 2 cuts are there. Because of that, it forms the 3 lobes. In the left lung, there is only one cut or one is there. Fissure is there, oblique fissure. Because of that, there is only 2 lobes. Okay. You can see here, this is the upper lobe, this is the middle lobe, and this is the lower lobe. In this is the upper lobe and this is the lower lobe. Okay. And this middle horizontal fissure, okay, and oblique fissure joins together and forms the middle lobe. You can see here, this is a horizontal fissure and this is a oblique fissure. They are joints together and forms one separate lobe, that is a middle lobe. Oblique fissure. Okay, you can see this is a oblique fissure. Why it is a oblique? This is present as a obliquely, it is cut. You can see this is obliquely, this is a cut. Because of that, we can see as a oblique fissure. It runs from the inferior border upwards and backwards across the medial and costal surface until it cuts the posterior border to ½ inch below the apex. Then horizontal fissure, it follows the 4th intercostal space from the sternum until it meets the oblique fissure and it crosses rib 5th. It is present in the right lung only. Okay, you can see this is the horizontal fissure and this is the oblique fissure. It makes the right upper lobe, middle lobe and inferior lobe. On the left side only 2 lobes, upper and lower. Or superior lobe in middle lobe and inferior lobe and superior lobe. You can see in this, okay, this is a anterior border, okay, this is a anterior border. In the left lung, anterior border forms the notch-like structure. That notch is as a cardiac notch, and at the anterior border there is one projection-like structure is there, that is as a lingula. Okay, and this is a blunt, rounded border. This is as a posterior border. You can see this is a posterior border, and this is a inferior border. Okay, and this is a base. Inferior border separates. You can see this area, this area, and this area. Okay, this area. This is area is a mediastinal surface. This is all. It is a costal surface, and this is this area. Okay, towards the mediastinum. And here also towards this one. This is as a mediastinal surface. Okay, then inferior border. Okay, this is the inferior border that separates the base from the costal. See, this is the inferior border. This is the inferior border. This base is separates from the what? Costal surface and mediastinal surface by the this inferior border. Okay, this is about, and this is the base, and this is the apex. Now we can go for the hilum. Hilum is present at the mediastinal surface. What is meant by hilum? Hilum, it is a space from there. Some structures are moved towards the inside, and some structures leaves, okay, or comes outside from the that structure. That is as a hilum. Okay, it hilum also spleen is there. Hilum of a lung is there. Okay, hilum of a what? You can say as a liver is there. Okay, hilum, it is present at the medial surface or mediastinal surface of a lung, and where primary bronchus, pulmonary arteries and veins are enters and exits from the lung. Now we can go for the hilum. Hilum means from where some structures are enters and exits, or some structures move towards the inside the lung and comes outside. Okay, and which are that area is as a hilum of a lung. Okay, hilum, it is present at the mediastinal surface or medial surface of a lung. Okay, it is a site where structures pass to and from the lung, and it is situated on the middle of the mediastinal surface of a lung. Hilum, it is the site where the parietal pleura is reflected on the root of the lung as a cuff to be continuous with the visceral pleura. This cuff of pleura is redundant inferiorly in the form of double layer of pleura. It is called as a pulmonary ligament. Okay, you can see it. This is as a pulmonary ligament. During the anatomy of the pleura, I will explain. Okay. Then it is another one is important, root of a lung. Okay. The root means it is the structures connecting the lung to the mediastinum. Okay. Again, this hilum, from where only the structures are enters and exits, and these structures, okay, in the hilum, they are attached as medial surface or lungs to the mediastinum, or it hold the lungs as a attachment. How the root is hold the tree, that same way these lungs are held by the mediastinum, or some structures hold by the that structures comes from the mediastinum, and that structures are all say as a root of the lung. Main root of the lung means it is the structures that connecting the lung to the mediastinum. Okay, Because of that structures, it is connects with the mediastinum. Okay, or you can already easily say as these are the structures that connects the lungs to the mediastinum, and that structures are said as a root of the lung. And what are those connects of root of lung? Mainly bronchus on both the side, usually right one divided before the entering the right lung, bronchial vessels, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, pulmonary nerve plexus, and bronchopulmonary lymph nodes and lymphatics. These are comes under the root of the lung. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Can see root of the lung. This is the root of the lung. Okay, arrangement of structures in the root of the lung from before to backwards. This is the superior pulmonary artery. This is the pulmonary artery. This is a pulmonary vein, and this is a bronchus. From before backwards, first is comes superior pulmonary vein, pulmonary artery, and bronchus. Arrangement of structures in the root from above to downwards. On the right side, the epitrachal bronchus, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, and this is a hyperpartial bronchus and inferior pulmonary vein. These are the arrangement on the right side. You can see here, this is the pulmonary artery, this is the pulmonary vein, and this is the bronchus. There is, before that only, there is bronchus or bronchi divided, okay, on the right lung. Two bronchi, you can see this here only, bronchi lies posteriorly. This is a pulmonary artery, and this is a pulmonary vein. Is the superior pulmonary vein or inferior and anterior? Okay, it is about the right lung. On the left lung, on the left arrangement of the structures in the root above to downwards. On the left side, you can see pulmonary artery, bronchus, and inferior pulmonary vein. Here what is there? First bronchus is there, but here it is first artery is there. Okay, pulmonary artery, bronchus, and pulmonary vein. Can say on the left of the lung, can say first pulmonary artery, bronchus, this is the pulmonary vein. On left lung root, one bronchus, and on the right there is two bronchus, but on the left side there is only one bronchus, lies posteriorly. Pulmonary artery is a superior, pulmonary vein is inferior and anterior. Root and hilum of the lung. The root of each lung is short tubular collection of structures that together attach the lungs to the structures in the mediastinum. Hilum, where the structures enters and leaves. The structures within each root and located in the hilum, they are in the both sides, these are present. One is bronchus, bronchial vessels, pulmonary artery and pulmonary vein, and nerves and lymphatics. Now, what is the difference between the right lung and left lung? Okay, right lung, it is has a larger right lung, it is a larger compared to the left lung, and it has the 3 lobes and 2 fissures. Left lung, it only has it is shorter. Okay, it has the 2 lobes and 1 fissure. Here only oblique fissure is there in there, oblique and horizontal both fissures are there. Hilum shows epiarterial and hypoarterial bronchi. means there is a two bronchi are there. Okay, but in hilum of the left lung it only shows the one principal bronchi, and in the right lung there is absence of a cardiac notch and lingula. Here right lung there is only anterior border, not show the any type of the notch and projections, but in the left lung anterior border shows the presence of cardiac notch and lingula. Okay, and on the right side there is 10 bronchopulmonary segments. On the left side there is only 8 to 9 bronchopulmonary segments are there. Already explained. Then we can go for the relation of the mediastinal surface of a lung. Okay, on the right side it has the airlap. Can see here on the left side this is the cardiac, this is the esophagus impression on the medial surface, this is the thoracic aorta, this is the arch of aorta, the subclavian, and this is the inferior vena cava like that. Okay, this is ascending aorta. Okay, like that impression. Here you can see as a inferior vena cava, this is a can say as a, and this say as a, this is the superior vena cava, this is the azygous vein, this is the inferior vena cava, this is the esophagus, this is the subclavian artery. Okay, and this is the first rib, like that it has the impressions. And what is the relations of a mediastinal surface and the lung? Now first of all we go for the relation to the right lung of a mediastinal surface. First, azygous vein. It is arches furrow above the hilum, superior vena cava and right bronchocephalic vein is a wide groove below the apex. Bronchocephalic artery is furrow near the apex. Esophagus, this is a vertical groove behind the hilus. Inferior vena cava in front of the right of the lower part of the esophageal groove, and large impression of the right atrium. You can say as a, this is the impression for the superior vena cava. Here it will comes the esophagus. Okay, here this is the azygous arching of a azygous vein. Okay, and here you can got the esophagus just inferior to the hilum. There is comes the esophagus. Okay, and in this next picture you can understand clearly. Okay, you can see this is the subclavian vein, this is the left bronchocephalic vein, this is the superior vena cava, this is the arching of a azygous vein, this is the esophagus, this is the subclavian artery, this is the ribs, and this is the inferior vena cava. Like that impressions, and it is for the cardiac right atrium, middle lobe. Okay, you can say here right atrium. And these are the impressions on the middle surface of a lung. You can see here middle surface of the lung. In that, this is the oblique fissure, this is the horizontal fissure. Okay, this is oblique. Okay, this is for the superior vena cava, this is for the esophagus, like that. This is arching of your azygous vein. Here you can get the pulmonary ligament, and this is the impression for the inferior vena cava, and this is, you can see the right atrium impression. Okay, this is about the medial surface of a lung. Now we can go for the left lung. Okay, and here this is the left ventricle impression, arch of aorta, descending aorta or thoracic aorta, you can say like that, subclavian artery, groove of the first rib. Okay, this is the cardiac notch and lingula, like that. Left lung, in that medial surface, it has the impressions. They are the aortic arch, a furrow immediately above the hilus. Left subclavian artery, groove in the apex. Left brachiocephalic vein impression close to the anterior border of the lung. Descending out, vertical furrow behind the hilus and pulmonary ligament. And esophagus is impression near the base of the lung and large impression on for left ventricle. Okay, you can see in next picture. Okay, this is on left side. This is the hilus. Just behind that, this is esophageal. This is thoracic aorta, descending aorta. This is for the arch of aorta. This is for the left subclavian. Okay, and this is the left brachiocephalic vein, and this is the cardiac pulmonary. Okay, like that. In this you can usually make out the impressions. This is for the arch of, this is this much arching to the just above the hilum. You can see this is the hilum, this is the arching, this is the arch of aorta, and this is the descending aorta. Okay, this is for the esophagus. Okay, and this is the area for the left ventricle. And this impression first, this is the anterior border, just behind the anterior border, this is left bronchocephalic vein, and then subclavian artery. Okay, then this is for the trachea and esophagus. Okay, these are the impressions or relation or of the medial surface of the left lung. Relations of the anterior part, right side and left side. Okay, right side, this is the right atrium, here left ventricle, small part of right ventricle, pulmonary trunk, superior vena cava, arch of aorta, right bronchocephalic vein, descending thoracic aorta, azygous vein, esophagus, inferior vena cava, trachea, right vagus nerve, right phrenic nerve. These are the all relations to the right side of the lung. What are those? Right atrium, small part of the right ventricle, superior vena cava, right bronchocephalic vein, azygous vein, esophagus, inferior vena cava, trachea, right vagus nerve, right phrenic nerve. On the left side, left ventricle, pulmonary trunk, arch of aorta, descending thoracic aorta, left subclavian artery, thoracic duct, left brachiocephalic vein, left vagus nerve, left phrenic nerve, and left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Now you can go for the anatomy of a bronchial tree. Okay, the trachea is divided into mainly two branches. The main bronchus divides within the lung into lobar bronchi. Then the lobar bronchi divided into segmental bronchi, which supply bronchopulmonary segment. Each bronchopulmonary segment, the segmental bronchi divide into bronchioles, which further subdivided and supply the respiratory surfaces. Okay, bronchopulmonary segment is the definition. The segment of the lungs aerated by the territory bronchus. There are 10 segments on the right side, 8 to 9 segments on the left side. Okay, what are the segments? Bronchopulmonary segments. How much segments are there? There are 10 in right side and left in only 9. This is the apical, anterior, posterior, medial, lateral, apical, okay, anterior basal, posterior basal, lateral basal, medial basal, and these are on the right side. On the left side, apico-posterior, anterior, superior lingual, okay, inferior lingual, apical, anterior basal, posterior basal, lateral basal, and medial basal. You can see here bronchopulmonary segment on the upper side, on the which are the present on the right side superior surface, apex, posterior, anterior. The middle, in that middle lobe there is a medial and lateral. Okay, and inferior lobe or third lobe, lower lobe, there is a superior, posterior basal, lateral basal, anterior basal. On the left side, on the upper lobe, you can see the anterior, anterior-posterior, anterior, apico-posterior, superior lingular. This is a lingula. This is present just above the lingua, superior to the lingula. That's why it is a superior lingula. And this is present inferior lingula. On the lower lobe, there is a superior, lateral basal, anterior basal, and this is the posterior basal. These are the segments of a bronchopulmonary segments. Okay, it is some little bit branches of the trachea or bronchi. Trachea divides as a right and left principal bronchus. Then principal bronchus further divide as a lobar bronchus. Lobar means superior lobe, middle lobe, lower lobe, like that. Okay, and in that superior and lower. That lobar bronchi further divides as a segmental bronchi. Okay, that segmental bronchi further divide as a terminal bronchioles. Okay, then that terminal bronchioles further divide as a respiratory bronchioles. That respiratory bronchioles further divides and has the branches and attached with the alveolar ducts. That alveolar ducts has the multiple alveolar sacs, and that is from the alveoli. Okay, acinus means it is a group of cells. Okay, in that it only called the, or acinus means it is a look like a grape like how grape is attached to the one stem or one what you can like that. Okay, acinus word meaning. Okay, then respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct, alveolar sacs, and alveoli. Whole thing it is a acinus, and this acinus is a functional unit of a respiratory system. Actually, gas exchange is occur in the acinus segment only. Okay, this is a functional unit of a respiratory. From respiratory zone, I already explained respiratory zone. It is from occur in the acinus only. Respiratory zones includes respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct, alveolar sac, and alveoli. Can go for the next slide. The ultimate pulmonary unite and from the respiratory bronchiole to alveoli is called as acinus. There are about 28 orders of division of tracheobronchial tree. The total number of alveoli has been estimated to be between 200 to 600 millions with a total surface area of 40 to 80 meter square. Okay, you can see here in this. Okay, this is a trachea first, that divided into principal bronchus, right and left side. That bronchus further divides into bronchioles. Okay, that bronchioles further divided into terminal bronchioles. That terminal bronchioles further divides into respiratory bronchioles, and that respiratory bronchioles has attachments with the alveolar ducts, and that alveolar ducts contains the alveolar sacs, and that alveolar sacs contain the alveoli. And this up to the terminal bronchioles, it is say as a conducting zone, and below the respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct and alveolar sac, it is say as a transitional or respiratory zone. This is the, in short, there is also some type is a lobar and lobular. Lobar means they are present in the lobe wise, and superior lobe, middle lobe, inferior lobe, or superior lobe or inferior. Lobular means it involves the only the respiratory zone. In that mainly the respiratory bronchioles, alveolar ducts, and the alveolus. Okay, you can see here this is a lobar bronchioles. Okay, the trachea divides into bronchioles, and that further divides into forms the lobar bronchioles, and lobar bronchus further divide as a segmental, apical, basal, medial, like that, segmental bronchus. That segmental bronchus further divide as a bronchioles. Okay, that bronchioles further divides as a respiratory bronchioles. That respiratory bronchioles, from respiratory bronchioles, whole everything is say as a lobule. Okay, then respiratory bronchioles further divides and have the attachment is with the alveolar duct. You can see here this is the alveolar duct, and these are the alveolar sac like structure. They are the alveolar duct contains the multiple alveolar sacs, and that alveolar sacs contain the multiple alveoli. You can see here in this picture. Okay, lobar, you can see here lobule contain the terminal bronchioles, not only terminal bronchioles, mainly respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct and alveolar sacs and alveoli. In short, acinus is say as a not lobule. Okay, acinus is a put of lung supplied by the terminal bronchioles. This is a segmental bronchus. Segmental bronchus is further divided into large segmental bronchi. Large segmental bronchi further divided into small subsegmental bronchi. Okay, like that there is a branches. Now we can go for the acinus. Acinus is a functional or terminal respiratory unit of the lung that includes all the structures from respiratory bronchioles to the alveolus. In that, alveolar duct, alveolar sac and alveoli is present. And acinus average is 0.75 mm diameter. Each person has about 20,000 acini in each lung. You can see acinus includes what? How much? Respiratory bronchioles, alveolar sacs, alveolar duct and the alveoli. This is the alveolar duct. Okay, and this whole bunch is as alveolar sac. Okay, this is the alveolar duct. This is whole, these are say as alveolar sacs, and this is say as alveolar duct, and these are say as respiratory bronchioles, and these are the terminal bronchioles. Alveoli. Alveoli is the end point of the respiratory tree. The structures that contain air exchange chambers are called alveoli. The respiratory bronchioles leads into alveolar duct. Wall consists of alveoli. Ducts leads into terminal cluster called as alveolar sac. And microscopic chambers, there are 3 million alveoli. Now it is the structures of alveoli. Okay, alveoli, it mainly contains the two type of cells. One is type 1 epithelial cell, or you can say the type 1 pulmonary cell, type 2 alveolar epithelial cell. Okay, and type 2 alveolar epithelial cell, it produces one liquid. Okay, or one liquid like structure, or that it attached to the lower surface or inner surface of a alveoli. Okay, that is say as a alveolar wall liquid. Okay, and that alveolar wall liquid, this is a alveolar wall liquid. Okay, this is very important. Okay, it is only this wall only, it avoid the collapse of a alveoli or complete closing of a alveoli. Okay, this wall, okay, or alveolar wall liquid, okay, is say as a surfactant. Okay, and this is the type first alveolar epithelium. Mainly gas exchanges occur on the type 1 alveolar epithelial cells, and type 2 alveolar epithelial cells mainly produce this liquid. Okay, this liquid, and these are the called in like that. You can go for the next slide. In this you can see as this is the type 1 cells, this is the surfactant, this is the type 2 cell. Okay. The alveolar consists of two types of alveolar cells and alveolar macrophage. The two types of cells are known as type 1 and type 2 alveolar cells, type 1 and type 2 alveolar cells are pneumocytes. I told pulmonary site, in that a pulmonary, that pneumo means air sites, pneumocytes. Okay, type 1 and type 2 make up the wall and septa of the alveoli. The type 1 cells provide 95% of surface area of each alveoli and are flat or squamous cell epithelium cells. And type 2 cells generally cluster in the cones of alveoli and have a cuboidal shape. Despite these cells occur in the roughly equal ratio of 1:1 or 6:4. The type 1 are squamous epithelial cells that make up the alveolar wall structure that have the extremely thin wall that enable to easy gas exchange. The type 1 cells also make up the alveolar septa, which septi each alveolus. The septa consist of epithelial lining and associated basement membrane. Type 1 cells are not able to divide and consequently rarely differentiate from the type 2 cells. And type 2 cells are larger and they line in the alveoli and produce the secrete that produce a ELF and surfactant. The second cells are able to divide the differentiate to type 1 and type 2. The surfactant is very important, that only makes the bronchi or alveoli to open. Okay, if surfactants is lost, the alveoli was become collapse. To maintain the space in the alveoli or maintain the pressure in the alveoli, okay, it is because of the surfactant. The alveoli become open, or it become opened, or it become what you can say elastic, or it may be opened or dilated because of this surfactant only. If it is surfactant is lost, it is not, it will become a collapse. Okay, I already explained this one, bronchopulmonary segment. Okay, then blood supply of a lung. The blood supply of a lung is by the bronchial arteries from descending aorta. It supplies the oxygenated blood to the bronchi, lung tissues and visceral pleura. Bronchial vein is drained into azygous and hemizygous vein. Then pulmonary artery, which carries the non-oxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lung alveoli, and two pulmonary veins that carries the oxygenated blood from the lung alveoli to the left atrium of the heart. Nerve supply, pulmonary plexus at the root of the lung is formed of autonomic nervous system from sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers. By the sympathetic fibers from the sympathetic trunk, action is bronchodilation and vasoconstriction. And parasympathetic fibers from vagus nerve, action is bronchoconstriction and secretomotor to bronchial glands and vasodilatation. Now applied anatomy of a lung. Then segmentectomy. Okay, there is remove of the some segment from the lung. Bronchiectasis, lung abscess and benign tumors. In that we can go for the segmentectomy. Okay. Okay, removing of the one segment of a lung or apical or basal, or you can say the basal lateral, basal medial, like that. Okay, bronchoscopy and removal of the foreign body. The bronchoscopy, it has the both the function, means diagnostic also and therapeutic also. Portural drainage, lung abscess, TB of a lung, tuberculosis of a lung, bronchiectasis, there is chronic dilation of the bronchi with secondary infection. Emphysema, there is a distal to the terminal bronchioles distension with the destructive changes in their wall. In emphysema, what happened? There is a loss of elasticity of a surfactant and lung carcinoma. Then pulmonary asthma, infective conditions like pneumonia, bronchitis, bronchiectasis, like that. There may be bacterial, viral, or fungal. Lung cancer, squamous cell carcinoma or adenocarcinoma. Okay. We can go for the bronchitis. And what is pure emphysema? Okay. Bronchitis is occur to the bronchioles. Okay. There is a inflammation and little bit collection of a fluid in the bronchioles. That is say as a bronchitis. And is mainly affect the large airway. Okay. That is trachea, bronchi, mucus hypertension and inflammation. It is as a bronchitis. Okay. And bronchiolitis means it is mainly affect the bronchioles. Okay. That is say as a chronic bronchiolitis or inflammation of a bronchioles is say as a bronchiolitis. Okay. And here in the pure emphysema there is involved the acinus, means respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct and alveolar. And here what has happened? Loss of elastic recall, means here surfactant was what happened? Destroyed. Okay, because of that there is permanent dilatation of a or collapse of a alveoli or permanent dilatation of a alveoli was occur. That is say as a emphysema. Okay, this in emphysema occur at the where in the acinus, and bronchitis and bronchiolitis is occur on the bronchioles and bronchi. Okay. Now what is the bronchitis? Bronchitis is mainly occur in the main airway, means large airway conduction things, and means bronchioles and bronchi. Here inflammation and collection of a fluid or swelling, inflammation, swelling of a bronchi, it's say as a bronchitis. And bronchiolitis means inflammation and swelling of a bronchioles, that is say as a bronchiolitis. Now what is mean by the bronchiectasis? Okay, it is also one of the type of the infectional diseases. The bronchiectasis is defined as a permanent, here is permanent. In bronchitis and bronchiolitis there is not a permanent dilatation of a bronchioles and bronchi, but in the bronchiectasis here permanent abnormal dilatation of one or more large bronchi, that is say as a bronchiectasis. Okay, there is also collection of fluid as there. Fluid means there is mucus is there. Okay, but here it is permanent, non-reversible. Okay, in that permanent dilatation of a one and two more large bronchi are say as a bronchiectasis. Then another one is thing is asthma. Okay, asthma is a common lung disorder in which inflammation causes the bronchi to swell and narrow the airway and creating breathing difficulty that may range from mild to life-threatening symptoms, include shortness of breath, cough, wheezing and chest tightness. Sometimes asthma it is allergic. Okay, in that what happens, there is asthma is defined as a chronic inflammatory disorder of the airway that causes recurrent spasmodic episode. Okay, here spasm is occur. In the bronchiectasis there is no spasm. Sudden, here sudden, there is no sudden. Okay, in this picture also you can see. Okay, there is tighten of a smooth muscles of a bronchis occur here in the asthmas. Okay, and there is episode due to increased hyper irritability and responsiveness of the bronchial tree and various stimuli. Okay, you can see here in this picture, this is a normal bronchial tube. There is relaxed smooth muscle, but in the asthmatic patients there is a tightened smooth muscle. Okay, that tightened smooth muscle causes the sudden swelling, sudden mucus collection and sudden spasm of a bronchioles or bronchis. That is say as a bronchoconstriction, is say as a asthma. And you can see asthma patient, when you go for the chest x-ray, you can see like this. Okay, you can go for the next slide. Then is pneumonia. Okay, pneumonia nowadays we can hearing more about this word pneumonia. Pneumonia. Okay, pneumonia means this is defined as a inflammation of a lung parenchyma. You can say pneumocytes. Okay, pneumocytes. Pneumonia means inflammation of a lung parenchyma caused by living or non-living infectious agents. Okay, and pneumonitis means is an inflammation of a lung parenchyma caused by non-living agents. What is the difference between pneumonia and pneumonitis? Pneumonia, it is an inflammation of a lung parenchyma where is caused by living organisms. But pneumonitis is the inflammation of a lung parenchyma caused by non-living agents. It may be radiation, immunity, like that. Let's say in this the pneumonia, these are the bronchi and these are the alveoli. This is the normal, but in the pneumonia there is inflammation and collection of a fluid in the alveoli. Because of that, there is no space for the gas exchange. Okay. There are pneumonias, types of pneumonia. There are lobar, I already told, right lobe, left lobe, and inferior lobe or lower lobe, right, upper lobe, lower lobe, like lobar. It involves the whole the lobe. Okay. Then lobular. Lobular means I already told you. Lobular contain the respiratory, bronchioles, alveolar duct, alveoli sacs, and alveoli. And interstitial pneumonia means it involves the both lobar also and lobular also. Okay, in short, you can see in this picture, and also lobular also say as a bronchopneumonia. Okay, you can see here in like this, they involve the only the bronchioles, bronchio. Okay, lobar means it involves the both. Okay, this is alveoli also, bronchioles also, and lobar. Interstitial means everything. Like this. Lobular means or bronchopneumonia like this. Lobar pneumonia like this involve lobe. Interstitial means there is present both lobar pneumonia and lobular also. Bronchopneumonia, okay, means there is only involved the alveoli. You can see a bronchopneumonia. Bronchopneumonia is a form of pneumonia that affects the wall of bronchioles and their surrounding alveoli. Okay, bronchopneumonia. And what are the symptoms? Proctic pronounced sputum, dyspnea, rigors, and pleuritic pain. And bronchoscopy. It is a one scope by that we view the airways and check for the abnormality. We can use it. This is for the both diagnostic and therapeutic also. Then thank you very much.